B.ed CTET History, chapter number 11, Culture and Science. Prosperity in the Gupta Empire initiated a period known as Golden Age of India. ठीक है, किस एज को कहा जाता था? गुप्ता एम्पायर को गोल्डन एज ऑफ इंडिया. This period marked by extensive inventions and discoveries in science, technology, engineering, art, architecture, dialectic, literature, mathematics, astronomy, religion, philosophy. In South India, the architectures and sculptures were patronized and developed by Palwas in the 7th century. ठीक है, फर्स्ट हम करेंगे द आयरन पिलर. This is a remarkable example of skill of Indian craftspersons, which is situated at Mehrauli, Delhi. It is made of iron, is 7.2 meters high and weight over 6 tons. It was made around 1500 years ago because there is an inscription on the pillar mentioning the ruler Chandragupta Vikramaditya, who belonged to the Gupta dynasty. The pillar has not rusted even till today due to its composition. Addition of phosphorus in the iron has prevented it from rusting. Building in brick and stone. The skills of Indian architecture was clearly demonstrated in stupas and temples. Stupa mount is a place for Buddhists to meditate. ठीक है, स्तूपा वहाँ वो प्लेस है जहाँ पर बुद्धिस्ट क्या करते थे? मेडिटेट करते थे. इट इज़ अ डूम शेप्ड मोनूमेंट. In the center of stupa there is a small box placed where bodily remains of Buddha or his followers contained. The path around the stupa known as Pradashina path. The gateways of stupa were decorated with sculpture. The earliest Hindu temples were also built at this time. The most important part of Hindu temple was the room known as Garbhagriha, where the image of the chief deity was placed. The temple at Bitangaon near Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, the Shikhara tower was built on top of the Garbhagriha. Most temples had a hall known as Mandapa, where people assembled for prayers. Some of the fine stone temples were built in the town of Mahabalipuram and Ehole. Each of these was carved out of single piece of stone known as monoliths. Then stupas and temples. There were several stages in building a stupa or temple. Usually kings or queens decided to build these as it is a very expensive. Initially good quality stone had to be found, cored and transported to the place that was chosen for the building. Here these rough blocks of stone had to be shaped and carved into pillars as well as panels for walls, flowers and ceilings. Next, these had to be placed in precisely the right position before installing the deities. The rulers financially the construction of these religious places spend money from them treasury to pay the craftsperson who worked to build them. Additionally, when devotees came to visit the temple or the stupa, they often brought gifts which were used to decorate the buildings. Example of such gifts are many. One of the beautiful gateways of stupa at Sanchi near Vidisha, Madhya Pradesh was paid by an association of ivory workers. Among the other paid decorations were merchants, farmers, garland makers, perfumers, blacksmiths, and hundreds of men and women who are known only by them names which was inscribed on the pillars, railways, walls, paintings, and Ajanta. Ajanta is a place where several caves were hollowed out of the hills. Most of these were monasteries for Buddhist monks and some of them were decorated with paintings. As the caves the dark inside, most of these paintings were done in the light of torches. The colors which are vivid even after 1500 years were made of plants and minerals. The epics and books. Some of the best epics were written during this period. A famous Tamil epic, Shila Padikram, were composed by a poet named Liangu around 18,000 years ago. Tamil का ये work है. It is story of a merchant named Koval and courtiers named Madhavi. Both of them fell in love. Kangani was a Kovalan's wife. Okay. Later, he and Kannagi left Pohar and went to Maduri, where he was wrongly accused of theft by the court of jeweler of the Pandya king. The king sentenced Kovan to death. Kannagi, who still loved him, was full of grief and anger at this injustice and destroyed the entire city of Maduri. The poet has described Kagani's grief very vividly and has graphically expressed her intense faithfulness to and love for her husband. Another Tamil epic, एक हमारा हो गया अभी another. Mani में Kallai was composed by Satanar around 14,000 years ago. This describes the story of the daughter of Kobalan and Madhavi. A number of Hindu religious stories that were in circulation earlier were written down around the same time. These include the Puranas. Purana literally means old. The Puranas contain stories about goddess. The Puranas were written in simple Sanskrit words and to be heard by everybody, including women and Sudras. Two Sanskrit epics, the Mahabharata, Ramayana, had been popular for a very long time. The Mahabharata is about a war fought between the Kauravas and Pandavas. The Mahabharata was an old story that was now written down. Valmiki is recognized as the another of the Sanskrit Ramayana. The story itself was an old one, but was written down on the form in which we know it today, about 15,000 years ago. The Bhagavad Gita was also introduced in the Mahabharata. Both the Puranas and Mahabharata are said to have been compiled by the sage Ved Vyas. Then had invention of paper. Paper was invented in China around the year 105 AD by a person named Chai Lon. Paper का invention इसने किया था. He beat plant fibers, cloth, rope and bark of trees, soaked these in water and then pressed, strained and dried the pulp of great paper. Handmade paper is still made through a similar process. The technique of making paper was a closely guarded secret for some time, before it reached Korea around 600 AD and spread to Japan soon after. It came to be known in Baghdad in year 751 AD, from where it spread to Europe, Africa, and other parts of Asia, including the Indian subcontinent. Writing books on mathematics and science. This was also the time when Aryabhatta, a mathematician and astronomer, wrote a book in Sanskrit known as the Aryabhatyam. He stated that day and night were caused by the rotation of Earth on its axis, even though it seemed as if the sun is rising and setting every day. He developed a scientific explanation of AC+ and also found a way of calculating the circumference of a circle, where is nearly as accurate as the formula we use today. While numbers had been used earlier, mathematics in India now invented a special symbol for zero. Aryabhatta establishing the decimal place value system in calculations. This system of counting was adopted by the Arabs and then spread to Europe. It continues to be in use throughout the world. तो ये था आज का चैप्टर है. इन चैप्टर के जो क्वेश्चन आंसर है, जो PYQ है, प्रीवियस ईयर में जो क्वेश्चन आए हैं CTET एग्ज़ाम में, वो हम जो है नेक्स्ट वीडियो में इस चैप्टर के नेक्स्ट वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे. तो देन हम नेक्स्ट चैप्टर स्टार्ट करेंगे.